So I already got my character made.
That cackle ability for witches in Pathfinder is awesome.
Hello, hello. Right, there we go. Right. Now I've got them muted. I can think straight. Hello, welcome once again to Deadlands. I'm just going to shout without talking too much. So anyway, I'd already statted up. But, oh no, it was a fairy dragon. I statted up, hadn't I? Okay.
Yeah,
Hello,
those
one
were
and
so
all.
cool. You know, the sassafras isn't Jelsa, but that little fairy dragon would act a lot like Jelsa.
Yeah, but that was for high level sassafras. Low level sassafras wouldn't get a fairy dragon, I'm afraid to say.
No, I know. I'd have the egg, and until the egg hatched, it would just be the.
Indeed. Well, I seem to recall
Yes,
that
Chris
last week
has what?
you totally surprised me when you turned the bad guy into a toad, didn't you? So, so, yes. So I've been reading the adventure, and yes, there's meant to be lots of interesting side quests and all that, but I figured I'll just tell you what happened because it's easier and get done stuff.
Yeah, easier than roleplay. Actually, just read the story.
Yeah, exactly. But actually, it's so obviously, as you recall, it's all kicking off. You tried to find Bob and Bob Malone, didn't you? After he sent a letter out that caused all sorts of. Well, I'm just going to sort of paraphrase what happens over the next week or so, and obviously, see what. So basically, the first thing that happens is Amanda Lobdell expresses her concerns about the violence between Heaston and the Miners' Union. She asks you if you would be able to help in any way. Can she count on you, or will you be heading out to deal with things in other places? She's not saying that. I'm just giving you that as the other option, of course.
Help you to do what exactly?
Help to end the bloodshed and save the town.
Well, nothing is boiling over at the minute anywhere else, is it?
Well, it doesn't seem to be, but to be perfectly honest, I think if we can find Prospector Bob and certainly prove one way or another if he actually wrote this, that would go a long way to calming things down.
Who is this Amanda Lobdell? What's her?
She's the mayor.
Can she get us permission to carry our weapons in town if we're, willing to help?
That's a good point, isn't it? If that's the price, she will basically she hands each of you a Merrill decree stating that you are given permission to carry weapons in town and to only use them in defense of the town and to minimize bloodshed. In other words,
so
you can't.
Is it a white piece of paper that says it is by mayoral decree and for the good of Heaston Hills that the bearer has done what they have done?
It's not a get out of jail. It very much is it's basically it basically says the marshal can't touch you for bearing arms, but of course you do have to. Obviously, the first couple of times you will have to
show it
while the marshal's trying to arrest you and being awkward.
Oh well, I will start open carrying all 5 guns.
Now, Mayor Lobdell, this letter written by the fellow known as Prospector Bob seems to be the thing that is, caused most of the spark between the miners and, the independent miners and Mr. Heaston's outfit. And the poor fella seems to have gone missing, which, it does suggest that, one of two things. He knew what was going to happen when he wrote the letter, or he didn't write the letter and somebody wants to make it look like he did. I think finding him could go a long way to, one way or another, solving the problem here. Either it will give lay to the belief of the independent miners that something's up and that Mr. Heaston might have something to answer to, or, him coming out could turn the ire of the independent miners on him rather than Mr. Heaston for actually having written the letter in the first place, which would certainly go a long way to diffusing problems between the two antagonistic groups, if you take my meaning.
Mhm.
So while we absolutely want the violence not to overcome the town, it might be worth our while at least having a look around the outlying environs of Heaston to see if we can find Prospector Bob. So it might.
Well, I mean, obviously, if that's what you feel you should, obviously, if that's how you feel you should run things, time, obviously, and if she thinks, if you think that will help, then obviously she's in favour of it.
Well, Tavis thinks that'll help, but I don't know what about the rest of the characters.
Well, we've got there's a journalist knocking about somewhere, um, who was doing an investigative report into the mine,
Hmm.
but he was writing for an opposing newspaper, the one that Heaston doesn't control. So why don't we just get him to put a story in the other newspaper?
Because all that will do is make things worse.
Well,
If we can find Bob, we can de-escalate one way or another, either by
de-escalate him. Aye. If he turns up and says, "No, we have a town meeting." He says, "No, I never wrote that."
I have
Yeah,
a
might
very
as well
strong
find time.
feeling we're going to find Bob's been dead for a considerable amount of time.
Aye. Well, the funny thing is, that even if he could prove he died before he wrote the article, that's going to be a bit of a bit of a blow for morale as well, isn't it?
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, that might be what blows it wide apart, because if we prove he died before that letter was written, then it's obviously forgery, and you know who the miners are going to blame for the forgery, and they're going to go after him.
Yep. Oh, the best bit
So,
listening. Obviously.
so
By the way,
Mayor, in the event of it all kicking off, I mean, while our main job would be to keep the peace, um, obviously there's factions here, and we wouldn't want to step on the toes of the wrong faction. But on the other hand, we have our own observations about who we have more sympathy for. Let's put it that way.
well, here's a problem. There's actually 3 factions at work, and one of them we know hardly anything about. Because there's the miners on one side, and we've got Heaston on the other side, and then we've got this secret cult that gets mentioned in a note.
Mm.
That what's the secret cult? Are they kind of manipulating this or what?
I Cthulhu Dragon.
You know, there is one way that we could potentially ease things off a little, um, without any bloodshed at all. That
Oh,
Heaston fella, he's didn't he hire that detective agency bunch?
He did.
Now, would I be right in saying, Mr. Watt, that you're not short of a penny or two?
Aye, I've got a penny or two, and I've got people who can lend us money as well.
Maybe you could buy them off.
Oh, it's a possibility. I mean, you could get I suppose you could get a petition up as well, quite easily.
I'm not sure Mr. Heaston would listen to a petition, neither would the miners.
No, no, but they could get we could get a petition to stop them investigating.
Possibly, but I think if we could buy them out so they're no longer working for Mr. Heaston or anybody else, that takes a lot of guns, not so much off the streets, but away from pointing at other folks.
What, make it worth their while to just wander off and leave the situation alone?
That's sort of what I'm saying. Yes.
Hmm. It depends what kind of folk they are, then, don't it?
I get the distinct impression they're the kind of folk for whom money talks.
Well, then, should be fine.
So would that even work, paying them off?
Well, it's only one way to find out, isn't there? I mean, there is another possibility, but my player is looking up the rules for it at the moment to see if it's something he might actually be able to pull off.
Fourth wall smashed.
I'm doing exactly the same thing.
Yeah, I'm just having a wee look at my player's having a look at the connections edge to see if the connections edge can be used to manipulate a fourth wall break inside the fourth wall break. That's like 16 walls.
Alvord and his daughter Clementine. Fortified building more secure. Fortified building more secure than down jail. Sledge and 7 other gunmen and toughs on the payroll. Alfred charges $25 per day plus expenses for the services of one of his detectives, or 40 plus expenses for an investigation he himself conducts.
What, $40?
For him, and $25 a day for his detectives, plus expenses. So try and if you want to try hiring them away from his. But
so how many minis he got?
how many bennies? He's got 8.
Well, here's the thing: we could use the connections to raise the capital to buy him off, but I don't know how long it would last. But the thing is, I'd rather not do that because we have to find Prospector Bob, and none of us can track, can we?
What do you mean? I'm sure there's someone that can track.
No, what I'm saying is I can hire somebody to track. Somebody I can lend. The landowners will lend me somebody who can track.
It's not like we don't have the skill amongst us.
Yeah.
I've seen you tracking. No, you don't.
I haven't got survival. Who's got it? Anyone?
I've got it. But apparently not well enough for some people.
We got lost twice. Oh, God. So there's a possibility we could do that. We could use connections and a bit of shenanigans to buy them off for a week. How about that?
Tavis, I'm going to give you a card that's utterly useless to me, but
Okay.
you might. There you go.
Kevin's very quiet.
Yeah, I sense that he's.
I can't find the role that he's insisting lets him use that many in one go. So I'm desperate trying to find out.
That's in the Deadlands Companion under U.S. Marshals.
That would be why I can't find it.
Yeah, because U.S. Marshals are in the Deadlands Companion, but the favours table is in the main book.
It's all very confusing.
Also,
page 16 of the Companion.
Yes, I don't have page numbers.
How do you know what page is? You've memorised the whole book, or have you just got it in front of you?
I've got it in front of me.
No, you should have said no. I've memorised the whole book. That would have been more impressive. Okay. Oh. Can't believe you let me
He
down.
already
again.
impresses people who can be mildly disturbing. I don't think he wants to impress them anymore. You can give me a card back anytime, Tab.
Okay.
Yeah, it's under the
US
U.S. Marshal
Marshals.
Edges.
US Marshal Edges. Favors.
The paragraph just above that.
Start with one that can spend up 400 requests from the start. They gain an additional favour when the party reduces the fear level.
Oh, and we've done that a fair bit,
Hmm.
which is why I've got 4.
Okay, so favours. Oh yeah, there's the favours. Request an agent use little help from the agency. Yeah. Favour rules obviously get different again. Every agent starts by favour and gains another one. Maximum agent can spend as a single request is based on his grade as below, whereas you automatically get 4. Currently remove a state or minor official, evacuate a town, declare a disaster, temporarily close down a rail line. You can certainly give it a try. Won't work, but you can certainly give it a try.
Won't work.
Yep.
Well, and if I can get one more, I can remove a state official. But if it's not going to work, why I'll not bother spending the favours then.
Well, no. Obviously, I'll tell you what.
The right thing to say here is I'll give you a Benny to not do it.
Well, I'm going to explain why after he starts trying to call in the favours, it's denied.
Okay.
I think having a Benny will be a nice result for that. Yeah, I told you he's got friends in high places.
Well, in which case, I might as well leave town because there's nothing I can do here to help.
No, it doesn't mean that.
Don't leave
yeah.
town without us. You know what I mean?
If he's got that particular person in his pocket,
No,
I will
no,
get fired if I go up against him.
Yes, it depends. It really depends. Obviously, that's different to catching him in the act and stuff, isn't it? That's what I'm trying to say.
I
Not
see.
necessarily.
If we catch him in flagrante delicto, the friend in the high place won't want to know him anymore. because he's publicly screwed up.
Exactly the point I'm trying to make. There's a difference between having friends and having friends when you've been caught doing something that your friends wouldn't want you to be associated with you for.
Well, since I've got that by telegram, I'm going to keep hold of the telegram that's come back from him telling me that.
Obviously, they don't put it as literal as that. It was just the easy way to do it.
Yeah. Well, I still think finding Prospector Bob is probably our best.
Let's go do
which
it.
is another good excuse to get out of town anyway, then, isn't it?
Mm.
Okay, so what's your plan? Finding Prospector Bob.
Well, apparently they say the party believes it can track. So I was just going to say we could hire somebody on that could do tracking for us, but I mean I don't like to use favors.
Tracking.
I don't like to use favors.
Well, I was going to start by asking around town to see when and where he was last seen.
That's what I said as well.
So shall we do a bit of networking then?
I mean, isn't it literally weeks since he's been seen? Tracking's kind of pointless in that situation anyway.
We'll have to ask about it now.
Mm.
Yeah, networking, I think.
I shall clarify it with that.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
I do.
It may never have got as far as that. It's just someone put a stop to it before that, if that makes sense. Yeah. And again,
I don't know. When players have abilities that can ruin the plot, eh?
Exactly. And it's, yeah. basically. So I had to pull out the big guns there. And then you suddenly pointed out that it's like, oh bugger, backtrack.
Yeah.
Okie dokie. Right. So no one had seen Bob in town for about a week, although he's usually in every few days to resupply. A trip out to his claim, he found it deserted, and no one made the successful survival roll to work out for how long he'd been missing. What happened?
Juan got with a raise.
Oh, okay.
With 2 raises even.
If you got that, I couldn't remember. In that case, all you determined was he's not been there for days. That's what it says. Tracking then, I suppose. I mean, I know in AD&D you could track something very hard, but you could track something that's been left for days, couldn't you? I don't know how nice this is.
I'm certainly happy to give it a go.
Well, here's the thing. Why don't we use my connections edge to get everybody else to go and look for him?
Everybody else.
You have to do, they all have to do fence line checks anyway, so have to make sure the fence line and the fields are correct. So that means every farmer can write round his field and find any clues. And there's lots of them.
That sounds reasonable.
And then once we get a lead, Sophia can take it from there.
You must have signed a bonus.
That'll narrow it down a bit to a general area.
After more than a tank.
It won't be perfect, but it'll get us there.
Well, I suppose if you want to track him down, you can head back out of town and see if you can track him down.
Well, did the farmer thing work?
Yeah, you can put the call out. I mean, do you want to stay in town and wait for that? That's what I'm asking. What are your plans?
What he was suggesting was that we get the farmers to do that to give us a place to start and then track from where they find that we can start.
Okay.
So we're less tracking and more hunting.
Okie dokie.
And I will certainly lend the gift of my gab to Mr. Watts asking around and using his connections, because after all, I am quite good at the old using of the words and then the speaking and the stuff like that. So I am.
Oh yeah, we can hear that.
Excuse me, I'm very good at that kind of thing. I mean, I'm usually slightly better with a script, but I have my moments.
I've seen your moments.
I'll have you know, just for everybody else's point of view, that she has not seen my moments, and we always have separate dressing rooms. Nor have I seen any of her moments, for that matter. I'm not that kind of fella.
God, Adelpho, you're so easy to wind up. It's a wonder you don't tick.
No, that's just me watch.
I don't think he does tick anymore, does he?
There is absolutely nothing wrong with my ticker. Mr. Hong here took me to the doctor. The doctor gave me a clean bill of health, so he did.
Apart from the lack of a pulse.
Well,
Yeah,
the doctor did give him a clean bill of health. Of course, the doctor also walked in the next room going quack, quack, quack.
The doctor gave me a clean bill of health, said my pulse was plenty strong. Here, test it yourself, Mr. Money. You'll find I've got a good strong pulse, so you will.
Push too hard, my finger
Seriously,
comes out.
don't remember that.
I think he's hallucinating, wishful thinking.
I'm not saying it's impossible, but I really don't recall that. I've lost. Ah, there it is. Oh, clicked the wrong thing. Okay. And yeah, so then I want the other map back, which was the Heaton Hill one. Where the hell's that? Ah, right. I've lost the other map. The map gone. Map. I did make them shortcuts to make my life easier. Wrong version. For flip's sake, I'm going to try a lot. Oh, there you are. Okay. Okay.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That's what he said.
Well, I'll remember that. It could be important.
Okay, so obviously you're going to basically you send out that request for get the farmers involved and checking everything. You get reports back from some of them fairly quickly. However, what you do get is there's something going on in Robertson that's which seems to be causing problems down there. Therefore, they'll get back to you when they've dealt with this problem.
Okay.
Well, I suppose it's not that far to Robertson.
No, really.
We could go and sort that out ourselves. And if we went to Robertson, we could then maybe swing back using your infernal machine cross country and check out the foothills on the way back to Heaston Hill.
Apparently, the famous feud between the Largos and the Rosses has escalated to a whole new.
Great, more people trying to kill each other. That's always fun.
Actually, that's even easier. Mayor Amanda Lobdell actually asks you. Says it's one of the ones that sort of highlights that there's something going on down there, and she's not sure if it's related to the troubles here, but at the same time asks if you could investigate, as her husband Sylvester runs a cattle ranch not far out from Robinson's, and it could well be pulled into a few looks like it might be turning into a range war down there.
Okay.
Well, the last thing we need is a range war while the miners are fighting, so it might be worth going and having a look at it. So it might. Do you want to saddle up that infernal machine of yours, then, Mr. Watt?
Aye, she should be able to manage it. I don't know coming back through the hills, but we'll cross that mountain when we come to them.
Well, can't you put your slippy shoes on the bottom of it so it floats and all that kind of thing that you keep telling us it'll do?
Well, it did float once, but I don't think it'll pull it. I don't think it'll work again.
The slippy shoes don't make it float; it makes it slide a lot.
Right. Oh no, it was actually floating at one point. It did.
Yes,
go
it did.
Bang bang.
Yes, you did manage to work out. You did work out an interesting formula that did allow the vehicle to ascend to the skies.
But yeah, that's kind of not going to work. Don't have any of the stuff I need.
Well, it shouldn't take us the speed that thing goes very long to get there. Let's go and sort out this range war then, shall we? Besides, I'm sure Mr. Money and Miss Vancouver are, hankering for a chance to fire some guns or something.
There's a chance of gunplay.
Well,
That's what
I thought that'd be his takeaway from all of this.
Let's go.
Okay. So there's the town of Robertson. I don't know if I got the scale. If I actually put a scale on this thing. Yeah, I did 10 yards, 30 feet. Doesn't matter. We won't. There's your lovely policy at the top of the screen. So, as you head into town, obviously it's rather helpful that most places. I mean, obviously that people's houses you probably wouldn't necessarily be able to work out just yet. But obviously the Circle Brown Saloon, the Scraggs Saloon, and the Week Stevens store, and probably the Schoolhouse and the Week Stevens Hotel. You can probably work out what they are.
A lot of chickens around here.
Yeah, there seem to be quite a few chicken houses, don't there? So I'd say I'm going to have you sort of heading down. Oh my word, what's it doing now? It's looking to grid. I thought something was going. I'll have you heading down Main Street, and judge as the hubbub's kicking off. Well, there seems to be a fair bit of hubbub in the town, and getting some information out of someone isn't that hard at all. Quite quickly, someone's more than happy to start explaining everything.
What do they say?
Well, the feud between the Largos and the Rosses, of course. You must be new around here. Sigmund Largo, he's the owner of the Bar 6 ranch. He wasn't too happy about bob wire popping up on his range after the Rosses settled down, so he cut it all down. You know how it goes. Wasn't nothing but bad feelings from then on, but sure seemed like they were going to mend that rift. Heir to the ranch, Link Largo, and the farmer's daughter, Maureen Ross, got engaged to be married. They didn't give no fig bout no dang feud. Yesterday, everything went sour. Aaron Ross rolled into town with his sons, angry as hornets, said the Largos had been out rimbrocking their sheep, stampeded a whole herd over a cliff to slaughter it. Today, things got even worse when Sigmund Largo rode into town with his crew. Largo says the Rosses kidnapped his son Link. Aaron Ross says that's hogwash. So now we've got the Largos occupying the Scruggs Saloon across Willow Creek, and the Rosses are dug in at the Week Stephen Hotel. It's a standoff, and we've got no marshal right now. So you've asked me, it's only a matter of time before somebody gets killed.
You say someone's currently kidnapped?
Big son, apparently.
2 households, both alike in dignity, in Fair Robertson, where we lay our scene. From ancient grudge break to new mutiny, where civil blood makes civil hands unclean.
I looked at the map. I thought, of all the chickens, I expected a filled plan.
Oh.
Oh, dear me.
Okay, so from that, Scruggs Saloon is obviously up here. And that is apparently the Largos occupying that. And there's the Week Stevens Hotel where the Rosses are dug in.
Okay,
Largos on the left, Rosses on the right, and you stuck in the middle. Oh, with an opportunity to make a pile.
Yeah, it's with Largo involved. I expect a spectre of danger.
There's no marshal.
I didn't ask who the marshal was. I asked who the mayor was.
The mayor? Well, that's a good question.
Yeah, we need to figure out who the key Largo is.
Ah.
And just admit it, defeat, and just that, I think. That worked? Yes, it did. I don't think it tells me anything about that. Refer to the description of Robertson. Okay, let's go to the
So, hang on. That Largo boy and the Largo boy and the Ross girl getting married. So we got Key Largo. Do you reckon Jamaica get married? Oh, we're going to take her.
Oh, good God. Tenuous. Are you really trying that? That was terrible.
Okay.
That was a real stretch.
It was, wasn't it?
In fact, actually, having set the precedence already, I'm deeming that a negative Benny.
Oh, he's off.
What?
Basically, everyone else gets a Benny for having to endure that terrible.
Hang on. So if I make bad puns, everybody else gets Bennies.
No, they've got to be truly, truly awful.
Awful.
Not just bad.
That's it. Here comes the book of dad jokes.
Can't be any worse than Saturday. Oh, dear. Anyway,
Don't challenge him.
I managed to
Who's
get
the mayor?
I have no idea.
Because while there isn't a marshal, the mayor could deputise us.
Let's just say, for argument's sake, the mayor is in one of the two families and therefore not in any way, shape, or form impartial. Only because it says most individuals use the town folk or cowboy stats, but you can sprinkle other types as you prefer. But it doesn't tell me anything much.
Did you say someone was currently kidnapped?
I think was kidnapped.
Okay.
Link Largo.
So what we need is the missing link.
That's right.
I'm not giving out any more Bennies right now. I mean, it's just terrible. But I will for that one. It was a good attempt. Now everyone's got 5 apart from John Watt. So I'm going to give John Watt 1, and I'm not giving out any Bennies for any jokes until you've used some. There you go. Okay. If you manage around town, taking away your telling to us, Sigmund Largo and his cowboys have taken over the Scruggs Saloon, and Aaron Ross's boys are arrayed on the hotel porch. There's no clear view between the two buildings, but every so often, a member of one camp or another ventures out, throws an icy glare towards their nemesis, and then goes back inside. Yeah, as you're looking around the town, you can feel the slow fuse of conflict burning showdown.
Where's the church?
Appear to have one on the map, does it?
It doesn't, so I'm wondering where they went to get married.
Or maybe they go somewhere else. There's a cemetery, but no church.
Maybe it's the building at the bottom, just above the T of Robertson. It's a big building without a label.
Maybe.
So the reason I'm wondering is if they're accusing the Rosses of having kidnapped Link, and the Rosses are saying no, we didn't. I'm wondering if the two lovers have just absconded together anyway. They've eloped.
The schoolhouse will often substitute as the church on the weekends.
Indeed.
Thank you very much.
So, do you think this is like a Romeo and Juliet type thing, Malarkey?
Well, I did quote the opening to Romeo and Juliet, paraphrased earlier with Robertson in it, but nobody noticed. So
I
yes,
did.
I noticed.
Notice we just didn't, want to encourage you.
I didn't want to encourage you, but you got everything right apart from a partial inflection on the third paragraph.
Oh, thank you. So I get done for bad puns, but quoting Shakespeare, I don't know.
You should have got a Benny for that, I think. Yeah.
He did. He did get a Benny for quoting Shakespeare.
All right.
In that case, we forgive you.
Well, I think we need to interview the two sides separately. I don't want to, but I think that's what we need to do.
Don't mind the GM. He's just in a bad mood because he's been calculating how many magic items he needs to update. Recreate.
All of them.
In 9 Pathfinder books and the Fantasy Companion. Quite a lot.
15 minutes.
Oh, you'll be able to swell it.
Indeed. As a fact, the new Swell 2.0 you probably could have running while you're running a campaign because it won't be.
Yes.
Because it just uses Builder. Anyway.
Yes.
Let's say there is a mayor in town, and I just read ahead a bit. Well, it does say the townsfolk asked for help. That's all it says.
Right. In which case, while we are in a territory, not a state, I'm going to reveal my badge to the townsfolk and say, well, I know that technically I'm not in my jurisdiction. I can have jurisdiction here if you want me to, because that is part of how the marshals work. They have jurisdiction over US citizens as well. So if there's a US citizen here that feels they're in danger, I can take jurisdiction and intervene on their behalf.
Okie dokie.
So is there one? because
Is there a single citizen here who'll put their faith in a crazy old Paddy?
Yeah.
They will offer. They will most certainly do so. But if anyone wants to be a bit more mercenary before I answer that question, speak now or forever hold your peace.
Does anyone want to get paid for this?
Well, it'd be
Well, I get-
nice to get a little extra funding, but I mean, if
I,
you're going to
I
pull
get
the whole,
I get $300 a month just for carrying the badge around. So you know.
Well, then you can pay me as your employee. So
If anyone wants you to voice a slight mercenary hint, unsubtle hint there.
Well, why? I mean, I'm always in it for. I always do more
Obviously,
pay. Although
while
I get
the
$200
amazing
a month for-
Adolfo's doing his spiel, I'm going to say over in another corner, there's some other people who are talking to the rest of you, other than their marshal. They're sort of saying that they're offering a pair of rusty spurs. That's payment.
a pair of rusty spurs. Although at first I heard rusty Smurfs, which gave me a good image. Okay.
yeah, you know what? Juan will accept a pair of rusty spurs. He doesn't do much horse riding, but he knows that spurs are important to that, so he will accept rusty spurs for payment for solving the situation.
Absolutely.
It'll
Yeah.
make you look more like a cowboy.
Apparently, they belong to Grandpa Weeks, who rode with the town's namesake, Uncle Jack Robinson. The spurs may not look like much they accept, but they're good luck, they insist.
Hey.
What happened to Uncle Jack Robinson? I feel like
He
he's
probably
also
died.
died.
He probably died, yeah.
But was he wearing his spurs at the time?
Well, who knows?
If he was, he
Um,
was generally brave and something
named for
bold, I'm
famed
pretty sure.
trapper John Uncle Jack Robinson. John Uncle Jack. The small community of the banks, yeah. Doesn't say what happened to him.
Oh, no.
Well, I reckon since Link is the one that's missing, we should go and talk to the Largos first. And they were in.
Here we go.
Scrub Saloon, weren't they?
People tend to be friendly and at ease here, but that's mostly due to being secure about who's in charge. That would be Rancher Sigmund Largo. So, yeah, there we are. He might not be mayor, but he runs this town, and you know what I mean? That's why, obviously,
There are problems.
there are problems. Yeah. Oh dear, I've done something and I've gone to the wrong
Yeah,
place.
if Link's the one that's missing, I reckon we go and talk to. And if Largo is generally considered the guy in charge, to avoid doing, well, at least to avoid insulting him, we go and talk to him first.
Yep,
Okay.
go for it.
Okay. Okay, as you head up to the saloon, two wild and woolly looking You know what? Slight side here. They make a big thing in the. This is every time I've run Deadlands, I've had the same issue, and it's like they put a big thing into about it being like it's Deadlands. You can play sheriffs, and be Wild West and cowboys and Indians. And then every adventure is not written with the assumption that any player has the law behind them because they could just flash a badge and get through half the adventure without any problems. I'm not saying that's going to happen here, but it's because I'm just thinking back. You know what I mean? It's just my pet peeve about Deadlands is as soon as you have someone who's got a badge, it makes everything more interesting. Anyway. Two wild-looking cowboys in chaps and 10-gallon hats lounge on the front porch at Scrud's Saloon. One of them spins her Colt Peacemaker in ornate loops on its trigger guard. The other spits tobacco juice in the posse's path and drawls. Sorry, Tinon, saloon ain't open for business. Mr. Largo's using it to conduct his war council, so I suggest you mosey across the street for a shot of whiskey. Circle Brand Saloon just down the street a ways is rather nice, or so they tell me.
I will pull back my coat to reveal my badge.
No, but I've just knew you do that, you see, and this is the problem, you know what I mean?
And I'll say, well, just as well we're not here for a drink. I'm here to have a word with Mr. Lago, so I am.
Well,
And since I've been told that he's here, and you've just confirmed that, I think it would be very good for me to go in. You'll tell him I'm here, won't you? The name's Paddy, but you can call me Marshall if you prefer. Now, if that needs a persuasion roll, I can certainly make one.
certainly can. I'm just reading on the heads here. Okay. Yeah, I shall give you a bonus on your persuasion roll with your badge. Off you go.
So I get the +1 that the U.S. Marshal Edge usually gives.
And obviously, yes, I'll give you another bonus, but I'm not telling you. I'll give you another bonus, but I'm not telling you what it is.
Okay.
so I can fudge it afterwards.
All right.
No, that's okay.
I have to admit that out loud. You know.
-4 takes it down to 2. +2 makes it a 4. So okay. Okay, so I'm going to say you got a success, which obviously will mean they'll be a bit more amenable. Brink is quieter than this. Meanwhile, the silent gun-toting partner has stopped spinning and is eyeing money up and down. You know how to use that smoke wagon? Is it just for show? Listen, only way you're getting in this saloon is through me. So how fast are you? Care to find out? That was
Well, he's
directed
always
at money.
comparing the size of their pistols.
Oh, this is a girl, though, I'm afraid to say. Sheila Two-Step Tomato.
That ruins that line.
That sounds like she's calling you out, money.
You really don't want to be doing that, young missy.
Yeah. Don't do that.
Question is, do you feel lucky? Well, do you?
I tell you what, miss.
She steps off
I
the
will-
porch. She steps off the porch of the saloon and starts walking out into the middle of the street, eyeing money as she does it.
I tell you what, miss.
All right, then.
You
I'll
go
stop
ahead and
on
take
the street.
your pistol, and you shoot at me as many times as you think you want to. And if I can get up to you and touch you, you have to let us in. That way, neither one of us gets shot, and neither one of us has to worry about it.
She says some sort of racial slur, and well, implying she's not talking to you. She's talking to the one with the fancy gun on the belt, pointing at the ghost gun.
Are we standing on the porch of this saloon or whatever?
You're standing out in the street, and she's facing you. Oh. Oh, are
Yeah,
you?
does she
Are you?
actually
So you're
comprehend what
saying you don't think you're as fast as me? She says, smirking.
No, we're just saying you're not worth it.
What on
Bullet on
God's
you, but I'm
green
willing
earth
to
is
ask you.
transpiring out there? A voice yells from inside the saloon. I asked you to preserve the silence for me, and now all I hear is commotion. Who the hell is that? Send them in here. Brink and Two-Step smirk, as if to say, well, you got what you wanted.
I will walk
take it.
past them and head in. And
Inside.
when I see the person with the red face looking really angry, I shall thrust my hand out towards them and say, "Mr. Lager, I presume, Marshal Patrick Harper."
Again, obviously, adventure doesn't allow that sort of shit, so we're just going to ignore you.
All right.
No, I know, which is we will, but anyway. Inside, you see the towering, obviously because he's mid-flow and all that. Inside the towering, Sigmund Largo holds court at a large round table at the centre of the room. Is a huge bull of a man. Oh, okay. So, actually, he does give you a chance to say your piece. Please say it again. I apologise. I was misreading it.
Mr. Lager, I presume, Marshal Patrick Harper at your service.
Okay. You're feeding off the range, strangers. Nobody asked you to poke your big bazoo in my business. Nobody, in fact, at least. Fact is, my son Link's been kidnapped by them good Grangers over at the hotel. And if I don't find out where he is by sundown, I'll burn the place to the ground if I have to.
Well, actually, while nobody in this particular building did ask me to poke my rather petite bazoo into your business, people in the town did that are worried about their well-being. Now, I appreciate that I am somewhat off my range, being as we are in a territory, not a state, but there are US citizens out there, and it is my duty to see that to their well-being. Tell me, your son Link, would he be registered as a US citizen by any chance?
Trying to work. It's a territory, isn't it? I'm not sure. Do they count? I don't know. Certainly wouldn't tell me that. But
territories are not states.
No, but they're still part of the United States. Yeah.
If he was born in the States.
No, he would have been born in this territory. He would have been born in this territory. That's why I was getting myself confused, you see. Largo basically is you get the distinct impression he's skeptical. He obviously he can't he obviously his son wasn't, but he does basically say that by all means do your best to find his son, but he assures you that he's a man of his word. He's already said what he's going to what's going to happen when the sun sets. He also adds, "My boy Link is gone. That's all I need to know. Rio over here told us this morning, just after sunrise, so we rode into town to find that liar Aaron Ross, spinning all sorts of tales about us rim-rocking his sheep. It never happened. He won't get away with it."
Just to be absolutely certain, Mr. Largo, not that I'm in any way doubting your word at all. Your boy Link is gone. This I accept. What is your evidence that Mr. Ross took him?
Ooh.
Rio told me. Motioning over to one of his ranch hands.
Does Rio in any way look injured?
He doesn't appear to be, no.
And you trust a man that quite clearly did absolutely nothing while your boy was taken away?
You haven't even heard. He says, he's one of my men. I hired him. He's up from Arizona Territory. He's worked hard and fair. He says he saw two riders make off with Link and head towards Ross Farm before he could do anything about it.
Well, I will point out that riders can go in any direction. They don't have to be from the Ross Farm to ride in that direction now, do they?
No one else would take me, boy. No one else would dare.
I understand your boy is in somewhat of a romantic liaison.
Yeah, well, he certainly would have seen the light of day before the wedding took place. I told him, just use the woman and then be off and then be done with her. That's what I said.
I take it you're not a fan of the Great Bard, then.
But times are ticking. The sun will set, and I will keep my word.
Mind if I have a word with that Mr. Rio of yours?
Be my guest. He don't talk much.
Very kind of you. Well, hopefully he'll talk at least a little. I'd like to know some more about these two riders that he saw.
Rio appeared, but as you walk up, you get the distinct impression this guy's of tight-lipped and surly.
Mr. Rio, is it?
He nods.
Would you mind telling me what happened at sunrise this morning?
You heard. Nodding back to Sycamore.
No, I heard what Mr. Largo said you said. I'd like to hear it from your own mouth. Well, I'm not going to call you a horse, because that would not be a very kind thing to say now, would it? But I'd like to hear it from yourself, if you don't mind.
Sigmund Largo got it straight. He repeated what I said. Simple as that. Without him, be fine. Do you good?
So, tell me about these two riders. Can you describe them to me?
Yeah. One of them I didn't recognize. Another was Aaron Ross.
It was Aaron Ross himself, was it?
Right.
And I take it, were you on your own? It was just yourself and young Master Link that was there, was it?
No, like I said, I basically walked out and saw Link trussed up like a hog as they rode off.
Right, and who else was with you then?
No one.
So when I said you were on your own and you said no, you were lying.
No, you said I was with Link. Now talk to you. Bugger off.
Well,
His story's full of holes.
you are a touchy
Do
fella,
I-
aren't you?
Do I find anything looking around this place with my dribbly eyesight?
Dribbly eyesight.
Gribbly, not dribbly.
You
Sophia
sure?
Cost,
I think it
Sophia
was
Cost
dribbly.
detect arcana.
I know.
Let's pop Benny.
Sorry.
So, does this story make sense?
Not really.
No.
It's convenient that he's the only person that saw the kidnapping. So
Simply goes,
it's actually
don't look. Times are ticking. Besides which, even if Rio was mistaken about Aaron, that doesn't excuse him for accusing us of killing a herd of sheep. We certainly didn't do that. We will have it out at sundown. I will go over there. I'll get my son back, or I'll burn them to the ground. Simple as that. Time's ticking if you're going to help. Otherwise, I suggest you get clear to safety.
Before you
What
do
have you done
anything, why don't we go and investigate them for you on your behalf? As in, you'll be in the eyes of the law, as it were. You'll be in the right.
Like I said, do what you like. I'm a man of my word. Sundown, I burn them down.
Well, give us a day at least. I mean, it's just really reasonable, isn't it? What happens if we
You've
go there and
got-
it takes all night?
You've got 2 hours till sundown.
I mean, I'm sure that we are. You know,
He then
goes
turns
up,
back.
shows him his badge.
He then turns back to the table.
You're not going to convince him of anything. He's more stubborn than a mule with an apple. Just
He
admit
turns
that
back to his table and starts directing his posse of 12 people there. That you get the distinct impression that maybe there's a posse there, and he's already planning how to attack the hotel.
Right. Well, he tried.
let's go and talk. Let's go and talk to the other folks then.
Okie
As we're
dokie.
leaving, I'm going to say quietly to you guys once I'm out of their earshot, One of them's hiding something. Not sure what, not sure who.
How do you mean not sure what?
Well, I tried to see with the Lord's vision, and I felt like something were blocking me, you know? But I couldn't figure it out.
Okay, and I'm taking it my raise on a notice roll didn't actually
Oh,
find
it did. It certainly did. The raise certainly did. You needed the raise to do it, but I'm just doing it now.
Okay.
Please wait, GM loading.
Only because I hadn't noticed your re-roll at the time. But I'm also putting in what I personally would hope would have been a sensible thing given everything else that happened, if that makes sense.
Uh-huh. Well,
I mean, you certainly
something.
could. What I'm trying to say, certainly some could, but given the situation in there, it would have been explosive. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, there's certainly something off about that Rio fella, and the way that Mr. Lago is trusting him without even the slightest bit of questioning. Well, either he's stubborn and won't ever change his mind, or he's stupid, or possibly both. But I think we should head over to the hotel and
It
see
could
what
be that. Maybe this Rio guy's got something on him that we don't know about.
Okay,
exactly.
As you get to about, I mean, you don't have to take the road; you can walk straight across, can't you? As you cross the creek, you become aware that there's armed gunmen in defensive positions in the hotel, and they watch you as you cross the creek. As you approach the hotel, a bearded man in overalls and work boots points a double-barreled shotgun at you as you approach. Turn around, no vacancy.
Again, I will show the badge and say, I'm not here to stay, I'm here to talk. And I think Mr. Ross would probably like to have a word with me.
See how persuasive you can be. No penalties on this one. You're fine. The guy basically nods and escorts you inside. Ross sits at a table with a few of his sons looking angry and red-faced and drinking whiskey. Ross seems far less full of himself than Sigmund Largo, but you can tell he's no less outraged. Looks up as you enter.
Good day, Mr. Ross. Marshal Patrick Harper and my associates. I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to help you and certain other persons in this town avoid bloodshed. Is that something that you would prefer?
Sorry, I was reading ahead. That Largo's got some nerve. He's been fallen in my hill ever since we put down stakes. You get the impression he's only half listening to you. Now he's got the audacity to go kill a whole herd of my sheep. But that's not enough for the great Sigmund Largo. Oh no, his own son goes and gets himself lost in the hills, and I'm somehow responsible. Yes, Largo accuses me of abducting his boy. It's absurdity. We Rosses are God-fearing people. I'd never harm another man's child, and he's a blackguard for saying I did.
Well, as it happens, it's not him that's saying that you did. But it is him that says he's going to burn this place to the ground if his son doesn't come back, on the word of one of his men. Now, if you have a hankering to avoid that bloodshed between the two families, then I'm willing to step in and do what I can to prevent it. But if, like him, you're perfectly happy to get your dander all up and go around killing each other, and you don't want anybody to try and stop it, in all honesty, I've a mind to just let the two of you get on with it. Maybe I'll suggest you just punch it out yourselves, but if you want me to try and look into this and prevent that kind of bloodshed, my associates and I are willing to give it a go.
A wail of distress comes from the back of the hotel.
Oh, let me guess. The lover.
Maureen. She comes out, she's distraught and beyond consoling. All she does is swear she loves Link dearly and no one in her family would ever harm him. Then obviously someone manages to lead into the back, and Ross goes, we're in here because it's defensive. We have no intention of, we will protect ourselves if he attacks us, but we have no intention of provoking a fight in any way. We're God-fearing individuals. If you really think you can find Link and settle the issue then please try.
Oh,
Well,
in that case, I'm certainly willing to do so. But before we leave and see where we might be able to find him, well, first of all, Miss D, would you talk to the young lady and ask where she last saw the young man? I have a funny feeling that she may well be the last person that really saw him, if you know what I mean.
By the
exactly
way,
what I'm
just
trying to do.
And Mr. Ross, Mr. Largo is accusing you of kidnapping his son. In fact, one of Mr. Largo's men, Rio, says that he saw you yourself carrying the boy away hogtied on your horse. Now, I'm not saying that you did it, and I'm well aware that you have said that you did not.
just as a side, sorry to interrupt, but didn't somebody mention dead sheep?
Well, I was just about to get to that.
I was going to say,
You're saying that Mr. Largo killed a number of your sheep, and Mr. Largo is claiming that he did not kill a number of your sheep.
I was going to say, I could, as a man of science, I could autopsy said sheep and find out why they were how did they die?
And on a more
Well, they died from a great big fall. I mean, weren't you listening?
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's falls and there's falls.
I lied about 2 hours is 8 hours.
Telling lies.
Oh, I'm certain somebody here is telling lies, but I'm just wanting to see if Mr. Ross here is willing to accept that
I wasn't explaining to you.
I was just wanting to see if Mr. Ross here was willing to accept that just as he did not kidnap the boy, that perhaps Mr. Largo did not kill the sheep, and that maybe there is something else going on altogether. Now, I'm hoping that Mr. Ross here is not as much of a stubborn ass as Mr. Largo is, and being a God-fearing Christian and a Christian man that would believe in forgiveness.
At this point, you're interrupted as someone runs inside, going, "There's a group of it's about half dozen men heading this way, all tooled up." Aaron goes right, nods with a resigned look on his face, and basically nods to someone on the porch, and him and 7 others head off and start digging in down by Willow Creek.
Right, we need to find out where the boy was last seen. We know that Rio said that at Largo's ranch. How far away is that? Miss D, the girl, says otherwise.
It's out of town. Probably take you about half hour to ride out there.
So 15 minutes in your machine then, Mr. Watt. Perhaps we should get moving.
You hear the first cracks of gunfire.
Juan's going to head that direction. You said they're getting ready to dig in next to the creek. Juan's going to cross the creek and head over towards the guys that are approaching.
Well, just remind Mr. Juan that it's not sunset yet.
At this point, it's 8 hours to sunset. I was wrong when I said 2 hours. I misread it. It's noon now, so you've got 8 hours. Sorry, 6 hours, I should say. Yeah, so as you finish talking, and as one's starting to head out, the first cracks of gunfire can be heard.
I thought they were waiting till sundown.
Yeah, but
some people are impatient. They get a gun, they just start shooting people. They don't like me. I'll restrain myself.
Well, like I said, Juan's going to walk across there. He's not even going from cover to cover. He's just walking very boldly out in the open over there towards them.
Okie dokie. So what's the scale?
Yeah, Mercy won't be far behind Juan because just in case.
Well, honestly, I'm tempted to head out there as well on the grounds that if Largo is that much of a bully to his men as he seems to be, calling him out on saying that he wasn't going to attack until sundown, and he's clearly not a man of his word if he's letting his men attack.
No,
give us
it was
some more
probably a
time.
what it's going to be is he'll have sent people out. They have sent people out, and one of those two groups have decided to take a pot shot. You know what I mean? It won't necessarily be on orders. It's just as Money said, give some people some guns. You know what I mean?
Take that girl to somewhere quiet and talk to her. Try and comfort her and find out what she's got to say.
And then once you've done that, I think we need to head to, unless she's got somewhere else for us to start looking, we go and start looking where he was supposedly abducted from.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I want to know why the sheep fell.
Well, you can investigate all of that, can't you? You can't do that in town.
No.
We're going to go and investigate. When we get back, they'll all be dead.
Well, as I say, the gunfire has started.
I mean, this is probably just a temporary thing. Do you want to stop them shooting first and then go out of town?
That's kind of what Juan's trying to do, is get them to stop shooting at each other. Yes.
Yeah, I know. I know he is. I'm just sorting that out.
No, I'm talking to the rest of them.
Yeah.
Aye. Let's just stop the shooting for now. I'm sure about a bit of but when they realised that because it isn't an organised attack, it's probably just some people have just jumped the gun, so there'll only be a small amount of them, and I'm sure if they see an overwhelming force, they might actually go back and ask for proper orders.
I'm going to give you a card, Will.
There you go.
You're more likely to use that than I am.
You might have to zoom in a fair bit because I had to really shrink the scale down to fit them on. But what you've got is Ross's men are in the pump house and well, and Largo's men are in the pump house and well, and Ross's men are here. And yeah, you can. What you do see when you get out there is buckaroos basically taking pot shots at each other.
These are really neat.
Oh, for crying out loud.
And obviously they're both neutral because obviously neither of them are offensive to you, but they would see red to each other. And it has to be said, they're probably more shooting at each other rather than actually, you know what I mean? It should be more. It's probably more intimidation shooting to show both sides. Yeah, one side shot first, and now it's all kicking off.
They're just lobbing shots. They're not necessarily shooting at each other. Yeah,
they're shooting in each other's general direction.
Yes, it's very much a case of look. If you're coming here, the Ross's guys were probably in a defensive stance, saying, you cry and cross the river, we'll shoot you. And obviously the Largo boys are shooting, going, look, you try any crap, we'll shoot you. That's the impression I'm trying to give. It's not a proper gunfight. It's more basically anyone moves, they're sort of shooting near them to make people duck back. So no one's actually advancing anywhere because every time someone moves, someone shoots near them, if that makes sense. So it's like it is pretty much a standoff.
Somebody want to go and tell them to cut it out.
All right, I will go and tell them to cut it out. I will walk out between them and I will shout at the top of my lungs.
Oh,
right!
Just before you say this, has anybody seen this? Right, this is a .36 caliber chain gun. It will impressive rate of fire that will probably blow everybody in the I mean, one burst of fire and everybody's going down. Right, anyway, he's going to explain something to you.
Is that a deflection on yourself or on the Amazing Adolfo one?
On myself. It has to be on myself, unfortunately.
No, that's fine. I couldn't remember. That's what I was asking. No problem at all. Okay.
For some reason, it applied to Sophia, not to me.
It's okay.
For crying out loud.
You might have him tag from last time or something. Oh no! Because right. I'll tell you why. Because of course, don't forget, for that automatic applying thing to work, you have the combat tracker has to be on you, and then you have to have targeted who it was. So the combat tracker was on Sophia, so it applied it to Sophia for some reason. Just the way it is. Isn't
okay.
It? So if you want to apply it to yourself now, it will work.
There we go.
Okay,
Right,
right, go
you
on.
bunch of right, you bunch of feckin' idiots, you lot. All you're doing right now is wasting bullets. If you're going to be killing each other, I've had the word of your boss, I shall say, pointing at the ones in the pump house and well, that there's going to be no hostilities until sundown. And I'll turn to the Ross posse and say, and I've had the word of your boss that you're all God-fearing gentlemen that ain't going to attack anybody unless you're defending yourselves. And since nobody has actually shot at you, you can bugger off, the lot of you.
Okay, let's have a persuasion roll with a +3 repair bonus.
Do I get +1 for my badge as well?
Of course, you always get +1 for your badge.
Okay.
Right, well, that makes my life easy. It took me more time to set it up than it does to actually make them all back off again. Which I don't have a problem with.
You can just leave them there for later, though. Oh, I would have left them there in case we had to come back and fight.
Oh, no, if you come back later, the numbers are completely different. Right. Aaron Ross looks out and sort of nods appreciatively in your general direction, posse members.
So, Miss D, did the young lady have any suggestions as to where the boy might have been seen last?
Good question.
She was inconsolable and you couldn't get much out of her, but from what you understand from talking to some other people was obviously she hadn't seen him today yet. Obviously, he was taken first thing this morning.
Then I suggest we go to the bar. It was the bar.
No, guys, bar 6 ranch.
I suggest we make our way to the bar 6 and see if we can pick up his trail. I mean, that Rio did say he was taken
to find
by 2 horsemen.
evidence of a scuffle in the stables.
Is that right?
Yes, that's what Rio.
Okay.
That's what Rio testified.
What he said to me was he saw Aaron Ross riding away with the boy hog-tied over the back of his horse.
Yes, but you know how Pinnacle like to put different information, more information on the second page of an adventure. It's like, oh, well, he told you this, but didn't you say this earlier? Yes, they did, but the adventure didn't tell me he said this at that point.
Well, let's go and have a look at the scuffle in the stables then, shall we?
Indeed. So you head out to you head out to check out the story of the evidence of a scuffle in the stables. Obviously, that would require someone who's very good at tracking to
Can I give it a try with survival, right?
Yes.
Tracking?
Tracking is survival.
Right.
I would like to support her with some notice.
I was already using conviction.
Oh, she won't need any support. One gives you a +2 bonus on support. Okay, go for it, Sophia. So you've got conviction and a +2 support bonus as one's trying to explain how to...
No, I'm just pointing out more footprints. Hey, is this something important over here?
Indeed. Okay, with a -2, you got a raise, which is very useful. Indeed, you do find evidence of a scuffle in the stables, just as Rio testified. However, and this is the thing you find interesting, you only find one set of hoof prints departing the...
Okay, well, can we follow that set of hoof prints?
You can. In the meantime, I'd like everyone to make a notice check.
Well, that does tell us that Mr. Rio there was not telling all of the truth.
Well, there's a surprise.
I think I'll give Benny that. I'll do better than not pass. I'll have a pass instead of a not pass.
Yeah, but to be honest, if one person, when it comes to spending bennies on notice checks, I would argue you look at everyone else's notice check, and if you see someone's rolled a 15, you probably don't need to spend a benny.
Probably not, but that would be really metagaming.
But so what? I mean, let's face it, Savage Worlds is very metagaming.
Savage Worlds is metagaming.
Yeah, I suppose.
That's the whole point.
I actually require multiple raises to stop dogpiling, so there you go.
Okay. Well, actually, I was going to make it really interesting and say that there's an intense odor of rotten meat. However, with one's 15 notice check, rather than you having to spend much time sort of trying to work out where the smell's coming from, one basically determines it's wafting up out of an old dried up well not too far from the house. However,
Well, there's a corpse in the well.
however,
How
someone
long
would
has this
have
boy
to
been
use.
missing for?
However, it would require athletics to get to the bottom of the well.
How long has
That's
this
a
Oh,
boy
check.
been missing for?
That's going to be.
Oh, I can do it. I'm sure. I've climbed down worse things. I'm certain. Let's just hope
Are
the poor boy
you?
didn't fall down there and get himself killed.
How long has he been missing for?
Come on.
Since
Really?
this
I'm not.
morning. I mean, he
He
shouldn't be
He
smelling that
wouldn't be
bad by
rotten
now.
meat yet, then, would he?
It makes no sense for you. Oh, fine.
Okay, so you can use the MacGyver edge to rig a pulley system on the top of the well so people can get lowered down.
Giving him a plus
Oh, it makes
one
sense for
bonus
me
on
to go.
athletics. Okay, Sophia, you climb down to the bottom of the well. Okay, I need a spirit check to resist nausea. Don't roll fear, it's a spirit check to resist nausea. Okie dokie. There's a body down here. Well, actually, sorry, that's a
Do you want to turn that
lie.
conviction up at any point?
Well, I didn't have a problem with that, but there
Well,
we
I'm
go.
fine then if you are.
There we go.
Okay. The body.
Okay, sorry. That's not strictly true.
Part of a body?
Well, actually, what I said a
Real
body.
body?
Your first fault is it's a body, but the reason you need to make the noisy check is as you stare more, it's probably easy to say it's a pile of bloody shredded organs and bones. You want to attempt a
Okay.
healing check, or send someone
I
down
think we could
who
be
probably.
on revival, but
I'm going to quickly grab a drink.
mm,
Or do you want to get someone else down here who has a more medical background to examine the mess?
I'll
Could try
give
it.
it one go with skilled.
Go for it.
And it's not like I'm going to make them more sick, is it?
No. I should have left the conviction on just until after that, shouldn't I, for fun? Hang on a second. Oh, there you go. Look,
Oh, what a surprise! I did really, really well. I can
You got
tell
a nine-
exactly what happened.
you got a 19. You reckon, and at the same time you reckon this, spot on. You reckon, and you think it's possibly that you've been hanging around the wrong people for too long to actually determine this, but you reckon that you're looking at the entire contents of a human body except for the skin.
Okay. Male or female?
I'm not sure if you can tell
What if-
about the skin.
If only the skin's been taken off, there's still a penis.
Or
It would
breasts?
be. Yes, that's what I was just thinking.
Or better still, just counting the ribs.
Are there gonads? And which side are they on? The inside or the outside?
It's a male body.
It's an outie, not an innie.
Yeah.
Yes. In the meantime, obviously, you do
So what have you found down there, Misty?
It's a who, it's a he, and identification's going to be an issue. Chuck me that rope.
Right. Should we lower down the bucket?
It need to be a pretty damn big bucket.
Right.
Oh, I know. How about you get a sheet or a tarp? I could lay it on that and tie the corners up to the rope.
Okay, let's drop something down then.
Well, surely my MacGyver roll from earlier, my pulley system should be able to lift it.
This should certainly help, yeah.
I would hope so, yeah.
That'll lift it. We still have to be able to figure out how to get it to come up in more or less one piece.
Well, how about I roll, what'd you say, athletics or agility to successfully rig it up so that they can haul it up in one piece?
It's always skills unless it's a saving throw in inverted commas, so it would be athletics.
A success enough for you?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, great. There you go. Have a look, guys. Enjoy.
Well, boy, that's mighty pleasant, isn't? Oh, if you just excuse me a moment. Well, yes.
Oh, it smells almost as bad as you do.
It's fascinating.
Oops. I tried to climb out of the well again. I slipped.
Yes, you did.
Badly.
Apparently they've changed falling damage, haven't they? It's
Yeah,
not.
because they've taken the cap off it. It's a silly progression system anyway.
But
Well,
well, it used to
thankfully,
be.
it's more.
Yeah, it used to be a d6 plus 1 for every 10 feet, didn't it? Up to 10 d6 plus 10, but now they got rid of the flat
Just move
bonus.
the D6 per 10 feet. It's easy.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you know, yeah, exactly. I'm going to, but it's per partial part of 10 feet, isn't it? So I'm just going to be cruel because I'm like that. Because I always roll 2d6 for random damage. Oh dear, you obviously fell really badly.
But half damage because she's falling into the water. It is a well.
It's a dry well.
No,
I
you
already
said
spoke
well.
that.
You didn't say dry well.
I did. I said a dry well. Otherwise, how would you find the body in the bottom of it? A dried up,
Floating.
dried up well. Old, dried up
did.
well is what I said.
I do remember him saying that. It's okay. I'll soak. I'll do better than that.
I thought that was going to be a critical as well. She kind of, yeah, okay. So basically, you obviously what happens is you've landed very badly at the bottom of the well, splat. But you
Do you
didn't
know what
break,
happened?
you didn't break your neck.
You missed one of the ribs, didn't you? And then you hit one of the ribs.
Possibly, yeah. You hear a loud, you hear a scream, and then a loud thump at the bottom of the well, and then silence for a few seconds.
Oh my goodness! Right, I'm gonna go down and get her. Let's get us all stuck down there, shall we?
Okay, and with a 5, you get down to the bottom. It would appear that Sophia is in a bad way, and whether anything, I don't think anything's necessarily broken, but there's she's obviously got multiple contusions, bruising, and blood everywhere.
Don't panic. Don't panic. She hasn't broken her neck. I think she's supposed to bend that way.
Well, I will hand over the Dr. Gow's miracle cure-all that I've got to Sophia.
She's one
Okay.
way, isn't it?
Here, have a drink of this, and I'll help you get back out again.
That was so embarrassing. I'm supposed
Right.
to be good at that.
Now remember, you hold with your hands, not your feet. I know you can fire a bow with your feet, but you can't hold a rope with your feet. Not like that.
You know,
Come
I've
on.
got another bottle of that stuff up there, but it's not much good to me up there.
Well, come on then. I'll help you up. You go up. I'll give you a boost, and then I'll come up afterwards.
With a +2, with a +3, you're okay.
And then I'll try and climb up.
And then you climb up. That's okay. +3, +4 because of the rope. Actually, +5 because of the rope.
I'll use the other one of those I've got
Okay.
and heal myself another wound, which I can do manually. I'm just
Yeah, it's fine. I've done it.
having.
It's absolutely
Oh,
fine.
thanks.
And Juan will go ahead and apply some ancient Chinese medicine.
Oh, we should have done that first. It would have saved one of your potions.
Should have, yeah, but they started drinking before I had a chance.
Exactly.
I was.
I mean, they're bruisers. What do you expect?
Yeah. Never knock the lack of. Never look down on the ancient Chinese medicine.
I wasn't. I was just being really embarrassed that the person
No,
who's
I'm
supposed to be
teasing.
incredibly good at athletics bollocks that up royally.
At least no one saw it.
No, but they
You
heard
can
it.
blame, you can
Yeah,
blame
we-
it on
we-
you can blame it on slime and the tunnels or whatever.
Oh, I'm going to.
Yeah,
I
when
can
we hauled the
see-
body
I
up,
can s-
we hauled the body up. We kind of drug it up against this one side, and she didn't see it in the dark, so it was all slimy from blood.
Oh, absolutely. I can see where her hand slipped through the blood when I was down there, just with a little bit of light just coming down, and then she dragged it all away, which made it very easy for me to climb. I would not have been able to do it had she not done that.
Oh.
I Oh, when nobody's looking, I'm like, thank you, Paddy.
Now, I'm sorry to force you back into action straight away, Miss D, but you are the only one of us that really knows anything about following trails. And that single set of hoof prints, if somebody did ride away from here with Mr. Link and this isn't him, I suggest we should follow it. But perhaps we should load this body into the back of Mr. Watt's wagon so we can take it back into town just in case.
How fresh is this body? Because when a body's been, is it eviscerated? Or no, flayed? Flayed, that's the word. When it's been flayed, doesn't it smell more quickly anyway?
It does, yes.
Yes.
So is this a fresh body?
I'm not sure if you know. Although you may fear, although the posse will fear its Wait, all it says is obviously the posse will fear you found Link Largo's corpse, but you actually find a pile of bloody shredded organs. So it could well be, for all you know, could well be Link's body, couldn't it? That's the point. I don't think there's any way of knowing.
Find distinguishing marks.
No.
Have you looked at its teeth?
Why would I look at its teeth?
Because if it's had any dentist work done, maybe, like gold crowns or something. How else are we going to identify it? It's got no skin or hair. All right, I'll look at the tracks. I'll leave the body to you.
Righto.
Went that way.
By the way, with that amazing tracking, can you tell how much weight that horse was carrying?
God, I can't spell guest right today, can I? Gutted right.
Gutted right. Well, that's got a whole different meaning.
Now, something here is disturbing me. This poor fella here has lost his skin. Do I think the body is, shall we say, about the same build as Rio?
Ooh.
Juan is willing to place money on that. Yeah.
The problem is it's not an intact body. It's a bloody pile of shredded organs and bones. So you'd probably have, do you know what I mean? You know what I mean?
If it was real, that might explain why Sophie was seeing strange things.
Have any of you heard of a Native American monster called a skinwalker?
Oh, what?
It's a creature that, steals people's skins and wears them and pretends to be them.
I heard about that.
I'm wondering if we might be dealing with one. Now,
oh, that's not good.
If that's the case, if this is young Master Link.
So if Sophie D uses the vision on a skinwalker, does it obscure the fact?
I don't know.
Because
like
apparently,
I said, I felt like something was stopping me seeing the truth in there. Maybe
yeah,
that was what it was.
Maybe that's what you were on. Maybe that's what was blocking the.
If that's the case, then, well, I certainly thought there was something off about that Rio fella. I think we should follow these tracks and see if young Master Link really was taken somewhere, but not leave it too long. And if we don't find him before before we need to get back into town before sunset, we get back there and have a word with Master Rio and see if we can't see if there's anything going on there instead.
We have to follow those tracks because we've got a theory, but we've got no evidence to back it up.
Oh, I gave the whisper to the wrong person. That's just me misdragging. Let's try again.
We got a theory. It's a skinwalker.
I'm gonna be following the tracks, and then they're gonna see me veer off towards the cliff.
Yeah.
I take it that's who you sent the message to then.
By mistake, yes.
Right, I see. Is it because I pointed her at those tracks by any
Yeah,
chance? Is that why she's gone that way?
Yes, I would say you did. Yeah. So basically,
Mr. Cooper, don't jump off a cliff.
looking down over the edge of the cliff, you see the rim-rocked
What?
herd of sheep.
Maybe animals can sense it, and then they saw the skinwalker on, and then they decided to run for it.
So hang on, the rim-rocked herd of sheep is right next to the Bar 6 ranch?
No, when the trail's a long way, and halfway as you go down, what you do find is a crossover of tracks, and the crossover when you follow the crossover tracks, you find the rim-rocked Ross's family sheep.
Okay.
Well, we'll carry on following the main tracks.
Yeah,
you need me to roll again?
Maybe he went past the sheep. The sheep got scared because they knew he was unnatural, and then decided to flee accidentally over a cliff.
Now that's a possibility.
Like lemmings.
Yeah. Sheep are that stupid.
So you follow the tracks that, after quite a while, lead to a muddy hollow on Black Fork Riverbank, about 2 miles distance.
Okay. What's there?
You find Link bound and gagged.
Hey!
And not dead. That's good.
Ungag him. Unbind him.
Bastard Rio did this to me. Where is he?
I have a feeling that it wasn't Rio that did it to you, and that Rio.
I know what Rio looks like. It was most certainly he stopped off mid-sentence as you say Rio was possibly dead.
Oh, I'm pretty sure that I know what Rio used to look like and all.
Is Maureen okay? I must see her.
She's in floods of tears and she's got puffy eyes, but she's fine other than that.
At least she will be until sundown when your father burns down the building she's in, unless you come back and stop it.
So we best get back real quick.
Yeah, you have to tell your father to stop. She's in danger.
Help! Help! So if you want to have your wedding, you need to point out to your father that he's a stubborn bastard.
Yeah, we need to get back to get him to talk to his father, and then
we need to
when
call
we get back,
Rio.
we need to call Rio out.
Calling him out ain't gonna work. We need to capture him fast when we get there.
Oh, that's what I mean.
I think we turn up with both the remains and Link.
I agree.
Well, Link,
let's do it.
Link definitely wants to. First thing Link wants to do is see Maureen.
Well, we're on our way that way.
Can I recommend we go see your father first?
Love won't allow that sort of thing. Obviously, there's only one place he wants to go.
Young Master Link, if we don't go and see your father first, you might not have a fiancée to go back to see.
What you said, he said sundown, and we've got time to see Maureen before the sun sets.
Yeah, but there's already been weapons fire. Well, regardless, let's go. Let's get back there.
Right. Okay, you get back to town. Obviously, it's a nice tearful reunion and all that at phrase I'm looking for. I've lost the plot.
You're the GM. We're bollocks if you've lost it.
Oh no!
At the hotel.
Fucking plot.
at the hotel is what I was trying to say. Okay, and I'm going to do that. And I'm going to do that. Then I'm going to do that. That. Good. Okay. And then you as a posse and taking Link with you, head over on the map. In with the posse. Friendly. There. Open that up and go click. And go bum. Oh no, that's right. There we go. Then we can do that. Okay. You head back to Scruggs Saloon.
Okay, there's no R. Oh, there it is.
Okay, yet again you've got S. You've got. Where do you think you're going? You've got the same.
I'm walking right past them.
Well, you can certainly try that.
Neither one of them wants to fight me, so I'm just walking past them.
As you get to there, you hear the cocking of a yeah, it's a single action, isn't it? No, single action. You don't cock. You just pull the trigger. Which are the ones you can flat. Well, anyway, you obviously hear the sound that basically, what's the face?
It's a single action that you cock. It's a double action that you don't.
Yeah, so you hear
Don't
the
have
cocking.
to, but either way, you could hear you cock the hammer.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Sheila two-step cocks the hammer of her pistol as you try to keep walking forwards, going. Boss ain't seeing people right now. Be on your way.
Not even this fella here, I shall say, nodding to the guy that's like 3 yards away from her, who is her boss's son.
Yeah, but obviously she was too busy spinning the gun and looking at keeping out. Yeah, what I mean. But yes, obviously that changes everything. He goes, well, let's. She nods and just gestures. Okay, off you go. Obviously, you probably won't get much further than that. I'll be honest.
After you, Mr. Largo.
Oops, I forgot to put the +2 in. That would be 7, but I'm going to Benny it anyway.
Where's Sigmund Largo? He looks up from his table and goes, I thought I told you not to. And he stops as he sees his boy. His boy goes, it just basically literally explains everything all the time, not taking his eyes off Rio. Largo obviously gets Largo. You can see him getting more and more angry, and
does 9 see through him?
At which point, the point is you can't tell. But I wanted you to know something was funny, but you can't use detect on Kana to detect them. That's the scary thing about it. But at the same time, I thought it was a very useful thing, and I wanted to hint that something wasn't right in there, if that makes sense. But in the minute, at this point, something interesting happens. If you feel, I think you can guess what you need to make a roll for when I share what happens next.
Yeah. Yes. I think we can guess.
Make your fear
I was
checks.
expecting that to happen, so I was.
Yeah, I wasn't.
Oops, I rolled direct spirit
Even after you've explained
That's
it to
okay.
me.
That's okay. Even with a -2, and you're fine. What does Rio cause? Rio cause mean, you're not worried. Rio, okay, so basically you got a 13 on your 17 roll because it's a -2 for a fear check on top of the fear level, which is also a -2. So it's a you need to get a raise unmodified. You need to roll a raise to pass your fear check. If you did,
So
yeah.
good.
Well, John Watt didn't. Mercy Vancouver failed, and Juan failed.
Right.
No, Juan succeeded.
Oh, Money made it.
Because Money made it, which gives everybody else a +1. So Juan succeeded, as did John Watt.
As did Mercy. So it's just you. John Watt made.
Oh no, because they didn't. They didn't have the extra -2 in, did they?
Yes. Mercy makes it.
Yeah.
Mercy
I've
makes
rolled
it.
3
Juan
twice.
marks it. So John Watt fails and gets to roll on the fear table with a +2 modifier. Off you go, Mr. Watt, sir. Don't roll a nat 20 with a +2 modifier.
You know, you've said, oh!
We know how to make that work now. I'll be playing around with this, and it works beautifully. Open square bracket, $,
Hesitant. Close brackets.
Those brackets also works very nicely for Nerves of Steel and Quick. Because I've been trying that out for certain magic items I've been keying in yesterday.
Cool.
Aye, and if you create an effect, you can call it any effect with a hashtag as well.
As you can imagine, all chaos breaks loose in the bar.
I see. The guy that's been with you forever couldn't be lying to you.
Rio has been with him forever. This guy killed Rio a couple of days ago.
Yeah, but I'm still going to say that. I don't care. I'm still going to say
that. I know. I know. I understand completely. Okay. Link Largo is going to stride for. Okay, let's look tokens. Yeah, no, you can say it. Don't get me wrong, but for the record, his trustworthy, ranch hand has been murdered and replaced by a lying skinwalker, who is unharmed when Link shoots him. The Amazing Adolfo is up next.
Okay. Well, the Amazing Adolfo is going to let the devil out.
Oh, is he? Okay, now to remind myself. I did put the shortcut in. Oh, no, I didn't. So I have to roll on the Dominion table, don't I?
Mm-hmm.
I wish I must admit I do need to put well, I had the graphics for the cards. I didn't do the Deadlands rule set. I did say, look, I've actually got the graphics for the cards, so you could actually make it. We could actually with the deck, I could probably make a deck cards. Okay, so
Probably.
And on Born Dominion system Harrowed. Here we go. Gun Life of Harrow. Gun Death Dealing. Dominion. Okay. Sleep doesn't.
That's interesting. I just spent a penny to draw a new card and got the same card that Mercy has.
That is interesting.
You shouldn't be able to do that.
Do you want to call up the deck on your GM's tools?
I probably can't. Because I've got the other deck extension. I can't browse the decks.
Well, that shouldn't happen.
Decked up breaks Savage Worlds. And the annoying thing is, and this is the really annoying thing, okay? The annoying thing is he fixed it, but for some reason I cannot get the fixed version of that extension to run on my computer. It always runs the broken version, even though I've run the update and seen it say it's updated it.
Oh, you've deleted it. You've deleted it off the computer.
Well, I'm wondering. Suddenly just occurred to me because maybe I actually had. Maybe I've got maybe what the problem is I've got the GitHub version as well as the Forge version.
Well, if it's unpacked, it'll take the unpacked version first.
That's only just occurred to me because he did put it up on GitHub as well, didn't he?
Yeah, if you unpack a rule
It's
set,
your
you
fault.
can't
It always is. I'm not saying it isn't.
You broke it.
I have a decked out extension. It's not unpacked. So let's delete that because I've subscribed to it on the Forge. So that might explain why I was never getting the right version. Okay. Anyway, I still can't find the bloody Dominion table.
One should get a black Joker.
Dominion. And that's the Dominion table's what I need to run because that's the same as drawing the cards. The cards are so cool. Okay, Mayhem. Okay, you've got to make a spirit check at -4 and lose 1.
He's going to slap you, you know.
No, because there is one good one on the Dominion table which gives everybody bonuses for the next 5 rounds.
All right.
If I'd got that, I wasn't going to cancel it. But I got a bad one, so I'm cancelling it.
Magic powers and adventure decks.
I don't know why I'm wishing it, but I just want to be playing Savage Pathfinder where the players are deliberately overpowered. It makes me cry.
Anyway. You should play Rifts. Overpowered, you've got no idea.
I backed the original Rift Kickstarter, and I mean, I was aware of it with the Palladium version. In fact, I had one Rifts book, the Great Britain book, to give me ideas for something else.
Did a big update, and it's now when you make a iconic framework, it does it all automatically. It's very good.
Very nice. But I have to admit this: I read the Rifts Savage Worlds book, and I thought, do you know what? That is just too much. It's too OTT.
Gonzo.
Yeah, I know it's deliberately. I know it deliberately so is, but it's like just. I find superpowers.
The devil out on then, sir. Thank you kindly. I chuck a knife at the bastard.
So what card do I act on instead of my 2 of diamonds?
What are you complaining about? Oh,
well,
sorry.
I drew a card and it gave him the same one as Mercy, so he can't have.
Yeah, and it's not moved me up. I'm still way down at the bottom of this combat track.
You got the 2 of diamonds and the 6 of diamonds. That's what you were dealt, according to the combat tracker.
Why is it showing me a jack of clubs?
I don't know. I'm seeing a 2 of diamonds and a 6 of diamonds as your cards.
I'm seeing the 6 of diamonds.
Well, yeah, he just moved me up to there, but all I'm seeing is just the jack of clubs.
It's the same thing that happened to me the other week, innit? Where I was getting.
But this is where it gets really interesting. Look, I've changed your card to the 6 of diamonds, but it hasn't moved you up the combat tracker.
It has for me.
Yeah, it has for me as well.
Yeah, same here.
Okay, I'm reopening the combat tracker. I had to close and reopen the combat tracker to get Juan in the right place. All I do know is I did some testing the other day with Quick, and I'm noticing the combat tracker is not showing you the additional cards.
Which it did.
Combat tracker is broken.
Yeah, but I haven't done the latest update. But yeah, basically, yeah.
5.6 is in test.
All they keep doing lately is breaking the Savage Worlds rule set every time.
But the main man is back now.
I know he is, but if they keep breaking it, he'll go again.
He's back there. He's going to unbreak what they broke.
I know. I think the problem is, well, to be honest, actually, I hadn't actually got that far, but there was a point where I was always going to say. Obviously, I'd much rather have a kill back, and I'm glad he's back. But there was a part of me that was saying, look, maybe it's time you just have to take the Savage Worlds rule set in-house and rewrite it from scratch. while we soldier on with the broken version, and then at some point in the future, put out your compatible version. I wasn't going to hold my breath on that, but you know what I mean. Because they're all. I don't get me wrong. I know how frustrating it can be, but if the only way that's the only way they can consult or control, they don't break it, isn't it? Did you just kill him?
4 wounds. I like it.
He's the big
I
bad.
just chucked a knife at him.
Oh well, I've got vet bennies. Let's see if I can stop him dying.
Well, there you go. He didn't die. Oh no, he did die. Oh, he didn't die a little bit less.
That's better. Okay, he didn't die a little bit less.
I think you'll find, Mr. Lago, that this is the fella that kidnapped your son. I think he might well also be the fella that ran the sheep over the hill. And Mr. Ross might be willing to forgive you if you'll be willing to forgive him, so we might.
Yeah, weddings have a way of bringing people together, you know.
Okay, Largo shoots Rio. Rio's going to die. Well, oh, Rio's so excited.
I know that you're a cowman and he's a farmer, but to be honest, the farmer and the cowman should be friends.
What?
The farmer and the cowman should be friends.
The cowman.
That's right. One man likes to herd a cow. The other, never mind. The other one, he moves a plough. But that's no reason why they can't be friends.
I have no idea what you're talking about anymore. That's
They're
a
all
lot
territory
of...
folk. Territory folk should stick together.
What the hell just happened?
I just shot him.
Everybody just basically unloaded a full magazine on a. Although,
Okay.
interestingly enough, historically, that's wrong. They only put 5 bullets in a 6-shooter in the Wild West.
Because, you know, weapons are renowned for being historically accurate.
Well, it depends. It depended upon a lot of different factors as to whether they had 5 or 6. The cap and ball, they very much only put 5 in.
Yeah.
Because it was too easy to trigger the cap.
Yeah.
But with the modern primer and casing,
as
they actually
time
did
went
put
by,
6
yes,
in more often
they
than
would
not.
put 6 in more often than not. I know. And actually, with an army cult, it wouldn't have been cap and ball, so it's accurate. But it's an interesting one. That originally they put 5
and equally,
shots.
if you knew you were going into a fight, you'd load the 6th bullet.
Yes, you would. Yeah.
I'm going to bend you that second one.
My dad actually had a cap and ball revolver. That was fun. That really was fun.
Presumably, you can only fan the hammer with a single action.
Yes, you can only fan the. Yeah, it has to be a single action pistol to fan the hammer. Oh, it's no, he's shooting. He's rolling damage, not critical. Which has been interesting.
3 times with a raise, then I think. So I've got to do one more hit. 1, 2. No, the third one was just a hit. Right, okay. I'm going to Benny that.
Okay.
I do. I think I got him at least 1 wound.
Okay, so that's wound. And I'll do that. Try a lot. Like that. There we go. And then I'll do that. Just to keep him alive. So he at least gets to act once. Okay. So out of pennies.
And then he remains shaken.
I had 1 left, but that's not the point. Do you know what I mean? Okay, well, you did the worst damage to him, so I'm afraid he's coming after you.
Will Money filled him full of bullets. I just chucked a knife at him.
Yeah, you hurt him. Okay, first things first. Okay, I'm going to do that. Second things next, I'm going to claw you. Twice. Two-fisted attack. With ambidextrous.
Mhm.
It's a hit and a hit with a raise. Okay. First attack doesn't hurt you. Second attack shakes you. That's all I can do. But it should also be pointed out that some of the wounds on him did appear to be closing as he came straight at you. Mercy, you're up.
I noticed that. You'll have to try better than that, so you will.
I will have to use selective here.
Okie dokie.
But I'm only targeting the one, so I'm not going to do the template.
Ooh, good hit. Roll for damage. That's a wound. I'll do anything about that. And
I just draw my pistol and fire.
Yep.
As far as
Okay.
anybody can tell, I just drew my pistol and fired.
okay. Largo's posse. I'm just going to say that to be honest, actually, for ease on the Largo posse thing is they all failed their fear check.
They all run screaming.
They all run screaming. After spending all that time
Yeah, they
setting them
might
up.
do when you see someone just rip a body apart and come out of this disgusting.
They are
thing
just literally just running out of the place as fast as they can. Simple as that. Because it's a Sophia
Suddenly,
D.
all the windows are open.
Yes, indeed.
I'm honestly surprised it's still alive by the time it got to my turn. All right.
Well, it was dead, but it got better.
I am going to cast Smite on whatever weapons Adolfo and Will are using.
I have my sword cane in my offhand, which I'll be
I
switching to my main hand very
should
shortly.
point out that technically casting Smite on Will's gun right now won't do anything because he's just emptied it with all bullets.
I've got bullets in my thingy.
Really? Is that where you keep them?
I keep them in my
You've got
quiver, yeah.
bullets in your other revolver, is what you're saying, not your ghost gun.
I've got bullets in my whatever you call them on your belt where you put bullets. The little thing where you put bullets.
They
in.
have to be in the gun. It's only the bullets in the gun when Smite is cast that has Smite on them. You've just done fanned the hammer, so you've emptied the gun.
Now, does Smite, if Smite is cast on my other gun, does it become magical?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, then cast it on my other gun.
And what happens if you
All right.
cast it on a speed loader?
I can just shoot
And
it
it's
again.
cast on the other gun.
You have to
Cast it
cast
with a raise on both of them.
the point I'm trying to make is if you read the description of
that's it.
Smite, if you found the hammer, if Sophia had cast Smite before he found the hammer, then all the bullets would have it on. But because he's found the hammer and hasn't reloaded with a speed loader or anything else yet, because he didn't state it or didn't pay the multi-action penalty to do so, he hasn't.
True.
Okay, fine.
But that's absolutely fine. You can put Smite on his other gun, no problem at all.
Pull the other gun out and shoot him 6
Yep,
times.
and that's Smite with a raise.
Yep.
So make sure you got them both targeted. Or just drop the effects on them individually. It doesn't matter which way you do it, but
Yeah, sure. I will.
you have to do
That
it.
doesn't seem to do a great deal.
Maybe you do need to target them. I don't know. As a GM, I can drop it on, but I might have to target them.
I can't just drop it on.
Yeah, you might have to target them and then just drop it from the effect.
All right, hold on. Let's see.
I will do it if you want. I was just trying to.
Yeah, it's
Empowering.
probably going to be quicker because I'm not. It's not cooperating.
You're going to put it on Amazing Adolfo. Target William Money. And you're doing smite with a raise.
Thank you. Don't know why that didn't work.
Yeah, it did do it. It just took forever to update. There we go.
Okay.
And then clear targets. Sheila 2 steps outside, so we won't worry about that. We'll go straight to Juan.
Juan will become drunk, start stumbling forward.
I guess I just decided I'll find out what happened to Sheila because she's a wild. Okay. Yeah. She
gets gray hair.
She has her off-shooting hand has got the shakes. I think you must have rolled just before the computer decided I had turned on the drunken box. Mind you, that's only attacks against you, isn't it? So that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it didn't give me the +1 for the gang up, so that should be with a raise.
You know why, don't you? If you zoom right, oh no, there's an over. It's because you're not in base to base with your target because you're using a reach weapon.
Precisely. Yeah.
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 We'll do it manually then.
Indeed. Which he did. That's a wound.
Okay, that's sufficient.
Okay, Mr. John Watson.
John Watt. I think I will just move. Let's go for the big one.
Don't mind me, I'm just sorting stuff out in the background. That's a wound using your airgun pistol with ghost bolt. Okay. Lingering damage.
Yes, he takes 2d4 lingering damage. So he takes a wound of fire damage and then 2d4 and then sets him on fire.
Okay, he's down on the ground. And lingering damage. He is incapacitated. He is down on the ground and not moving.
Burn him.
Inside the wooden building full of alcohol. Are you sure?
We can take the alcohol.
I'm with Misty on this. If you really want to burn him, take him outside first.
I'm just making NPCs run away. Okay, and odds up with the Joker.
Pennies for everyone.
Woo!
Juan is going to poke him.
I know what's going to happen here. I just realised.
Lift him up on the spear.
Yep.
Sling him outside.
And turn and drunken boxing head out towards the door.
Okie dokie, boys. So we'll worry about that. I just need to work out what happened to Link because I had him act last turn, but because I forgot to actually make him make a fear check, didn't I? That now. Right. This is where I roll a 20. You watch. You're okay. Okay. Right. Okay. You're heading outside. Mr. Watson. hell are you up here with a queen? Can I not spell hesitant today? I can't spell. Where's that
I don't
working
know, 'cause
today?
I don't see 2 cards, so I don't know what I got.
I guess the other one was higher than a queen.
No, you only got dealt a queen, so I'm not sure why hesitant didn't work. Especially as I know it does work because I was testing it earlier. I don't know.
Maybe the cards are really truly balked.
I think maybe the cards are really truly balked. Okay, I'll put you on 3, sorry. So it's Amazing Adolfo next.
Well, I think, Mr. Largo, you have an apology to give to Mr. Ross. I'll walk you over there. Come with me.
I'll go strides ahead of you. Murphy, Vancouver. How long is letting the devil out last for?
5 rounds.
Nobody behind the bar? There's nobody behind the bar?
Just the barman hiding.
Well, I'm gonna go over and get me a drink. Since there's nobody to stop me.
Yeah, I don't like reverse card dealing because that tells you about all the hidden NPCs.
I know, but I'm just thinking about checking it.
No, it would tell us if hesitant worked. It tells you, actually tells you that the hesitant kicked in. I know because from testing on Bob.
Bob, poor Bob.
Oh, every time I'm making a campaign, there's always Bob. That's the one and only player character.
Yeah, I've got Bob. You've given me that habit. There's always Bob in there.
It's always a Bob, so you can test everything out on you. I've just made a magic item. I'll give it to Bob to test.
Yeah.
I've just created a new. I've just got a new monster. I'll attack Bob with it.
Drag him out.
Poor Bob.
Not Bob, Rio.
Rio's on
Maybe it is Bob.
You've walked over to Link, who's gibbering a bit.
Why does it say R on there then? It says Rio.
Rio's
Oh,
over
I'm
here.
looking at the one. Okay. My screen is faulty. Can you? Yeah, fine. I didn't do that because for some reason I've got a giant Adolfo and Rio in the middle of my screen that stays in position no matter what I do with the map.
Close it, reopen it.
Yeah, well, I'll ignore it for now. Okay, fine. In that case, I'll just go this way and drag Rio with me out. I want to drag him down there.
Okay. You're pulling him off one spear and dragging him outside.
Did you miss the bit where one stuck him on a spear and carried him?
No, I'll be helping one.
Okay. Oh, you'll be there then.
I don't know. Much like 2 people might carry a pig to the roast.
Ah.
Mr. Money, sir. First, he's headed over to the bar, where the barman's gibbering. The barman's a gibbering wreck behind it.
I'm honestly not sure.
I'm going to head over to the bar and reload.
Because Rio's going to reach in here in just a second.
Ghost gun, 3 shots into it anyway.
No problem at all. As I say, with the barman not being able to do much, Mercy and you are having a nice drink. I can't remember. I can't find where verbose dials are under options anymore. Cards are. Won't be used again. For any type card deck, voice rolls. I can't see anything on card dealing anymore. Go to token.
Combat tracker, dealt card announcements. It's under combat.
Ah, there it is. Thank you. Righty ho. Mr. Watson.
Mr. Watt. Well, this thing is technically dead.
But we
should help.
Yeah, they're going to help it.
Drag it outside.
Okay. Help drag it outside. No problem. I'm going to drop Link off. Link's going to the bar to have a drink as well. New round. Let's see what we get.
I mean, technically, it's still Bunny.
Now the hesitant says it worked. That's interesting. It doesn't actually show you both cards on the hesitant roll. So maybe your burst card, maybe I diddled you there, and you did get a card. You did get a card better than the Queen of Hearts. At least we know now it's not broken. It's me being stupid. It just normally tells you that John Watt is using the hesitant, but I didn't notice it last round.
Oh, that combat tracker's slightly cut off as well.
That's probably the theme.
That's just the theme.
I think it's the theme. I can't remember if it does it on the normal ones. Okie dokie. The Amazing Adolfo. What are you up to, Mr. Amazing Adolfo?
I'm going to continue walking with
I'm going to finish reloading my gun while I'm doing that, yeah.
Okay, let's just put the two of you over there for ease. There we go.
Yeah.
Rio comes back to life in inverted commas.
Did I drag him very far?
Oh, you're helping carry him out. Anyway, so he basically sort of he's still impaled on the spear, but he basically pulls himself down the spear to get closer to Juan and Sophia. He attacks both of you. Missing both of you as you just dodge out the way. Sophia definitely dodges back using combat acrobat, and Juan basically, obviously, he's still on the spear, so you obviously deny him.
I wiggled the spear at the last second, so his arm just flails in the air.
Indeed.
Like a puppet.
Sophia D.
Brandish my cross at him. How dare you attack me?
Righty-ho. Well, he'll need to make spirit checks to attack you from now on. -2, because you got the raise.
So there.
Oh, no, don't put it in square brackets, Kevin. Do not put it in square brackets, because when you put spirit -2 in square brackets, then that affects you. Muncie, Vancouver. Right.
Uh-oh. We both did it. That's better.
Oh, geez. Here, Will, hold my drink.
Yeah, apparently kill it with fire doesn't work.
We haven't set it on fire yet.
Yes, he did.
I did.
I did this with a 6.
Did you?
I didn't realise you did you?
Yeah, he
No,
said
I
it
didn't
was
think
fine.
we had.
Yeah,
I thought you were taking it outside. You would take it outside to set it on fire, otherwise you'd be burning down
we were totally taking it outside to burn it.
Yeah.
Well, no, I shot it with an incendiary round. Yeah.
Oh yes, the lingering damage. I forgot. Sorry. The lingering damage I forgot about. 4 points of damage won't actually affect it, so that's probably what happened there. It burnt out on its.
So is he
fogginess.
considered prone even though they're propping him up on the spear?
I don't see why not. No, that makes him harder to hit, doesn't it? I'll take prone off. So you would have got a 6. And his defense, he doesn't have dodge, therefore that was a ranged attack, so that's a hit. And Mercy kills him.
Again.
Again.
Now, you definitely killed him. You dealt three magical wounds and then one incapacitation wound. He can only regenerate non-magical wounds, you see. So that's why I was keeping track of how many wounds he'd taken that he couldn't regenerate.
I'll hand Mercy her drink back. Slightly, I've topped it up, obviously.
Yeah, and I'll toss it back. Glad that's done.
Well, we're using your sharp eyes, luck, and diplomacy. You sorted that one out without any bloodshed, so well done. Luke,
That was good. We saved the whole town from killing each other. Yeah.
Link and Maureen get married. You are guests of honor, and the feud is over and done. And now you're all at the reception.
Unaccustomed as I am to giving speeches, I would like to tell the story of how he helped me the skinwalker, so I would.
It does say the reception's a great time
Yeah,
to
well,
tell
hand
a
me
tale.
another drink.
It does actually say the reception's a great time to tell a tale and lower the fear level.
So I would like to put on a little show using sleight of hand and the bits and pieces that are around the table at the wedding reception, and I will call upon each of my companions to display a little bit of their skills as I talk about Mr. Money and Miss Vancouver's amazing skills with their sidearms.
Yep, I'm going to do some fancy shooting.
And she is probably going to ignore me, but we'll see. And Mr. Watts.
She wants a point of conviction or not?
the new science and the marvelous air gun that he's created was able to burn the creature so it couldn't come back to life. Miss D showed him how cross she was. Well, she showed him her cross anyway.
If Mercy wants to make an assist with a shooting roll to get a point of conviction, now's the times to do it.
And Mr. Hong. Well,
hang on, let me get this.
That big pointy stick of his ain't just for show, I tell you. You'll have all seen him carrying the beast out, impaled upon it when it was carried through the town. Go on, Mr. Hong, show him your staff. No, not that one. The proper one.
He's at +4.
He's obviously had a bit.
Yeah, well, it's the drunken boxing, isn't it? He's obviously drunk.
Yeah, exactly.
However,
I was suggesting.
He's suggesting you spend the penny just to get, because evil GM states you've got to successfully assist to get a point of conviction when telltelling. Because
fine.
That's the only reason why. Because if I was being the GM, I'd have said you tried to assist because you didn't critically fail. It didn't make things worse. But you know, Kev's evil.
I'm a git, and I admit it. oh, that's annoying. Actually, did everyone get a point of conviction there?
No.
No.
So I right-click on the token. There's an award conviction button. I click on it, and nothing happens. You don't get a point of conviction.
Mm-hmm.
You broke it.
Broken.
Do it later. We've probably got to turn off that card deck and update it.
Did that ring a bell out of interest, Sophia?
Yeah, I got a bell.
You got a bell, but the award conviction doesn't work. I don't want to test the kick. I've never actually kicked anyone. Oh, well, I'll do it the manual way.
You've never kicked anyone?
No.
Go on, you can kick me if you want. I'll join back in.
Well, my fear was if you kick someone, they can't join back in. That's why I've never done it. So I won't try.
No, they can join back in. You just when you get some when you got a table up and you haven't put a password on, some random pillock joins. What's happened? You kicked me.
And what do you actually? What did it do? Does it literally just kick you back to the lobby?
Says game connections lost. Game connection server lost. Yeah.
Okay. Well, congratulations. Obviously, yeah. So the fear level, you've reduced the fear level for Robertson from 4 back down to 3. Congratulations. It's like a good time to.
And I now have enough favours to take out a state governor.
I think I'll just do that and say, well, that's a good time to leave it today.
What did he do?
Oh, don't worry, you got the advance. You gained spirit of 1 dice.
Gave us all an advance. I'm not going to have to think about
So
what
for next week, presumably the farmers would have uncovered some evidence.
Well, hopefully, yeah. Basically, yes. Basically, indeed. But we shall leave it there for today. And yes, we shall leave it. Have fun. Now get rid of them.